For those who don't know, my name is Danny DeVille, and food is one of my many love languages. So today I'm creating one of my favorite meals that everyone always asks, how do you make your lentils? I love them. They're super rich in iron, and I usually make them at least once a month for, different reasons. I'm not one of those girls who writes down her recipe all the time. So I wanted to be able to show you better than I could tell you how I create these awesome lentils. And I'm also gonna make aromatic quinoa that's scented with cardamom, cinnamon, and clove. And some really lemony, gingery haricot or skinny French green beans. And everything all together kind of creates this like earthy, like bright, spicy, healthy meal. I hope you all enjoy. Let's get to it. So I started with garlic, ginger, turmeric, fresh cilantro, parsley, oregano, and thyme. Using a spoon, I found, is actually the best way to peel the skin from the ginger. That way you can keep the flesh, but get rid of all that skin. So peel your ginger, same thing for the turmeric. And be careful, you might stain your fingers. And crush your garlic and get to chopping. One of my favorite things to do is to just sprinkle a little bit of salt on the garlic before I start chopping. That way it stays put on the cutting board and I get a nice even chop going. Nice skills going, arrow. So my pot's been warming up. Heat up some oil on there. You can already see it starting to separate, spread. And I'm toasting some cumin seeds just to give the oil some nice flavor before I start adding my garlic, ginger, a little salt there. I have a tendency to add salt with each step. So I was a little lazy. I bought some store-bought mirepoix, which is onion, carrot, and celery, and added that to the pot. And then I went ahead and added my aromatics with my ginger and turmeric. And I'm just gonna, with each time I added something, I let it cook down for about 3 to 5 minutes. I just didn't want to show that. Also, I found with each step I added more salt. Like I kind of seasoned as I go. And pepper as well. Just stir to incorporate everything. And then get your herbs ready. Start chopping up your fresh cilantro and parsley. And then I like to tie a bundle with my oregano and thyme. Just kind of tie it together using one of the longer stems, or you can use some string. And then add those chopped herbs. Incorporate everything together. Give it a nice stir. And then rinse your lentils. I think it's important to just kind of give them a good rinse through, pick out any bad seeds, no pun, and just add them straight to your pot. And again, incorporate everything in so that it's all together, looking lovely. And you can start adding your water. Some may want to add chicken or vegetable broth. I like to add water. Lowers the sodium content, right? And then I add my herb bundle, topped it off with a little bit more water. Add some smoked paprika, some harissa spice, since I forgot my habanero peppers that I usually add. Add a few bay leaves, some crushed red pepper flakes, again to make up for the habaneros. And let's add some powdered cumin. I love cumin in lentils. It gives it a great earthy flavor. I'm adding tomato paste now. I usually would add it actually when I added the mirepoix to give it a nice toasty, roasty flavor, but now is good as well, just to give it some nice depth. And then here I'm just adding powdered versions of the ginger and turmeric root that I added earlier on. I also do the same with herbs. I'll use dried herbs to supplement and add more of a zing for the fresh herbs, like there's some dried oregano there and dried thyme. Salt and pepper to taste since I added all that water, just to compensate for the, lack of sodium in the water. Mix everything up together, and let's get ready to make our quinoa. The quinoa pot should have been heating up, so we can just add our oil straight to it and toast some cumin seeds again. Add some cardamom, clove, and a cinnamon stick. Just let everything get its own, toasting going on. Yes, you can see them start to move a little bit, which is good. We want to see the pop. So while that's roasting, get your shallot together and dice your shallot up nicely. If you like shallots in the quinoa, you can definitely chop them a little more roughly. I just like them a little more fine for this quinoa dish. I prefer cinnamon stick to this one as opposed to ground cinnamon, so you don't have those granules in your quinoa when you eat it. So incorporate everything together, rinse your quinoa. Again, you want to rinse off any bad bits. And then just add it directly to the pot. And after adding it to the pot, your shallot should be translucent. Everything should have cooked down for at least 5 minutes. And I like to toast the quinoa, adding salt before I add my water. So that way it gives it more of a nutty flavor. It brings forth more of that natural aroma. And so I'm adding twice as much water as I did quinoa. Just making sure to coat everything, that everything's all covered. Give it a good stir, make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. Ooh, lentils are starting to boil. All right, looking good. You can stir everything, give it a little taste. See if you need to add more salt. See how that line is reducing? We're gonna cover it up now. We want that line to reduce a little more. So now here's garlic, ginger, and shallots for our haricot vert. Haricot vert are green beans that are a little skinnier, like French green beans. So chop up some extra garlic. And I love how customizable these recipes are. If you like more ginger, add more ginger. If you like more garlic, add more garlic. Same thing, heating up the pan. And adding those shallots and ginger. Oops, I mean shallots and garlic and ginger. Incorporate everything together and just let it cook down for a bit. Let's check on our quinoa. All right, looks like it's ready, starting to boil. So once it gets to a boil, put that cover on, set the timer for 5 minutes, and then leave it alone and let it do its thing. All right, so now that everything's been cooking down, let's add the green beans and combine them in that garlic, shallot, ginger mixture. Make sure everything's all incorporated to get all those flavors together, and of course add salt and pepper to taste. And again, just toss everything to get it all coated with that flavor. And then we're gonna add another ingredient to really brighten up this dish. So the best way to get the most juice out of my lemons is to give it a good roll when it's room temperature. And then just squeeze that lemon juice in there. This will help to steam the vegetables through so that they're cooked and nice and soft and you don't have to boil them. Adding some water will dilute a bit of that brightness from the lemon, and adding to that ability to steam through the green beans so that they can be nice and delicate but still have a crunch or a bite to them. Since we added that water, salt and pepper to taste, and add the cover and let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Ooh. All right, so lentils are boiling, looking good. Adding again some lemon juice for that brightness. I only had one hand, so bear with me. All right, lentils are looking ready now. So honestly, at this point, you can turn off the fire and put the top back on. Lentils are done. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. I'm just gonna add some dried parsley to enhance the flavor of the green beans. It's starting to look good. They have a bit of a bend to them. They're starting to look a little more flexible. Just gonna add a little more flavor with the salt. People tend to undersalt, in my opinion. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. Let's take the quinoa off the fire and leave it alone for 25 minutes. So while the quinoa is resting for 25 minutes, I'm making my green beans in batches because my pan's so small. And leave those gingery shallot bits in there. Add a little more as you need to for the next batch. Same with the ginger. So it's been about 25 minutes. Ooh, look at that fluffy quinoa. And you can smell the aromatics as soon as you open up the top of the pan. Like that cinnamon, the cardamom, the cloves. The cumin seeds are all throughout now, so they're edible. Don't worry about that. They actually give a great texture to the quinoa. So remove your aromatics, your clove and cardamom and cinnamon. Look at how fluffy. Oh, so good. I like to make extra just to kind of keep for the next dish. So your lentils are ready. Remove the bay leaf. Your herb bundle, remove that also. Oh, look at the quinoa and lentils and those yummy green beans with those caramelized shallots. Let's build our bowl. I love to start with the basic quinoa, add those creamy lentils. Just pile it on there. And get those green beans. And look at how caramelized those shallots are now. I actually like to just add the caramelized shallot mixture, a little bit of that to the top of the lentils too. It just adds another level of umami. So I'm topping with some fresh cilantro. Some crushed red pepper flakes. And another squeeze of lemon. Ugh, dig in. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm ready to dig in. I'm hungry. All that work, you build up an appetite. So you get the brightness from the lemony, gingery green beans, and then that earthy quinoa with a little hint of sweetness, but like still earthy and savory. And then those lentils are just creamy. And if you want them creamier, you can add coconut milk. It's not my favorite thing to do to lentils, which is why I don't. But by all means, you can add coconut milk or any other nut milk. Or if you do eat dairy, go ahead and add you some dairy. But oh my God. And cilantro kind of like cools it down a little bit. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm about to finish this. But please, let me know what you thought. Like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Let me know what other recipes you'd like to see. There's so much more coming up, so let's get ready for a wild ride.